All right, a little change of pace here. How important do you think it is for schools to offer the arts to their students?
It's as important as sports. I think. I think maybe more important. Um, you, I think creating funding arts in schools, it allows people to kids to find their potential, to discover things about themselves that they never knew they had, and to focus on talents, and it just, I think, that perhaps are buried. I was really the only artist in my family, and they didn't know what to do with it. They had no idea. They just thought it was a cool little hobby. Had I had access to, a real arts program where I could be surrounded by other artists, I think that my potential as an artist would have grown, and maybe perhaps I wouldn't have had the struggles that I had. And so, and I saw that with other artists, that were friends of mine at the same time in the same area, that we had no place to go. And I experience that now as we travel around. They don't have any place. There's all these talented people, and they not everybody can go to New York. Not everybody can go to Los Angeles. But where do they do? Where do they go? And I think expanding one's own understanding of art also helps one expand one's own understanding of the world. And you don't have such a limited view when everything's so spoon-fed to you, when you can actually be involved in a creative process. So I think funding for the arts is absolutely essential. There's always, and rightfully so, I think there's this educational war on drugs in this country. But and that's fine, that's a good deal. I 100% support it. But if you're going to take away, that part of it, give them an alternative. I think that's a great alternative to trying to escape reality. When your reality perhaps isn't what you had hoped it was, or if you come from a violent place. Art therapy is I think extremely helpful, and I think you could choose art over drugs. So if you really do care about that, and I'm speaking mostly to conservative folks, then at least pour some money into arts funding. And hey, man, who knows what'll happen? We'll pollinate the world with art. That's a good thing.
Now, you've, if I'm not mistaken, you had your first printed collection of poetry and illustrations published this year in May? Or was it? It was last year? A few years ago. All right. And what was the fan response to your book?
They were great. I mean, they were very accepting, and people come to the shows with the books, which I'm always very proud of. And it's been really remarkable. I didn't expect the kind of reception that it received. It was well received.
That's good. Out of the all the books you've published and the success of your musical career, you've been on HBO's Def Poetry. You spoke at Rock the Vote, a ballot bash for the Democratic National Convention in 2008. Out of all that and all the other stuff you've done, what do you think has been your best, your most significant, your highlight of your career?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if there is one. This is right here, talking to you.
Well, thanks. That's awesome. Do you plan on speaking at any functions for the campaigns this year?
I haven't been that involved so much with only because of this timing. Scheduling has been difficult. I of course have been keeping up with the race. It's almost a bit absurd, who the Republican Party have nominated to run. So, but I haven't been as involved with as we get closer. I might get maybe more involved with Rock the Vote. But I've been heavily involved in the fight for marriage equality in this country, and so that's kind of taken a back seat now that we've, just politically on a national stage, now that we've moving closer to the election, which is really right around the corner.
What's next for Otep?
Releasing a live album in November, I think, and then we have a new studio record coming out early next year.
Cannot wait to get my hands on that. All right, there's just one more thing. There's another event going on here in Atlanta, not too far from where we are. And you mentioned Captain Kirk and Ahura earlier. Do you know the other event that's going on? It's Dragon Con. Do you know what that is?
No, what is that?
It's a big sci-fi fantasy convention.
Oh, really?
You know, where all the cosplay people go and they
right on.
dress up. Do you have a favorite sci-fi fantasy book, TV show, movie?
No, but I have a favorite writer. His name is Harlan Ellison. He's one of the, I think, and science fiction readers know him. He's maybe the greatest writer of our era. He's just fantastic. If anybody gets a chance to have not read a Harlan Ellison book, you should check it out. But he's remarkable. Yeah, I mean, what he does with words. I mean, you know, Picasso does with a brush. I mean, it's just remarkable. Fantastic.
All right, that's all I have. I am the original Brad. You're listening to WLJS